Hey everybody, welcome back to Trident Wargaming. This is going to be a quick and easy weathering tutorial. I hope you guys get a little bit out of it, and we're just going to jump right in, and let's get started.
Trident Wargaming. Build it, paint it, play it.
Alright, jumping in. We're going to be using scale 75 flat black, and also scale 75 speed metal. I use these colors for all my sponge weathering. You're going to need a little chunk of sponge. You can get this from sprues. You can rip it off of anything from the dollar store. The yellow and green sponges, Scott Pack, whatever you want. That's fine. Basically, this is kind of a little bit of an example of what we're going to be going for. We're going to be working around the edges, just having minor wear, just to pretty much show a little bit of battle damage here and there on the vehicle. Most of the stuff on the block is going to be painted on by hand. But we're just going to be focusing just on kind of raised edges, exhaust ports, some of the turret pieces, especially around the track guards and whatnot as well. So it's going to give overall a decent amount of depth, and you're able to do this pretty much anywhere. So here's the nice and clean model. As you can see, the weathering's already been done on the block. And that's what we're going to be starting on. Okay, so just taking straight up flat black. I like to throw it down on some plastic, get things ready to go. Also, recording this, I am recording on the left side and I'm left-handed, and I kind of realized it as I'm doing this voiceover, so next time I'll be on the right side, but just bear with me. So dab it up, get some on the sponge. You want to make sure you have some on there. It's not going to be super heavy, but just make sure, yeah, you have a lot of the paint off. And less is more. Just dabbing, quick little dabbing motions. And you want to slowly take time to build it up. Less is more in this particular instance, guys. If you do manage to get a large chunk of paint on there, where it's like a big black blob, that's fine. Don't worry about that. There's no such thing as mistakes with this. There's just little instances where we can have some more interesting weathering and create a deeper looking hole. And I try and pretty much work one side of the tank specifically. Also, be mindful of your hand placement. This stuff should dry fairly fast, but you know, you don't want to be handling and rubbing any of the weathering off. Usually, until everything's sealed, it's treated as gentle as you can, right? So with that little section of the black done, we'll take some of the speed metal. Same thing, just flip your sponge. First, we're going to cut in just a little bit with the brush. And it's basically, I'm just using the edge of the brush just to pick out some kind of fine lines. I love how it's just detailed and zoomed on my hand. But you'll see what I mean. There you go. We're just going to be trying, like I said, just to pick out some of these line edges. We will go back with the sponge and just kind of sponge along that area as well. This is just kind of giving us, I guess, a little bit of a border that we're going to be working on. I like to try and concentrate these lines on a lot of the sharp edges, especially on these long runs. And again, less is more. You don't want to go crazy with the silver. This is just showing some chipping going right down to the bare ceramite. So sponge time. It's just going to add a little bit more variety to the scrapes, but it's really, really easy. Just again, dabbing motion, super quick. I did sponge the steps, but around the rungs themselves, I'll actually just be chipping that kind of by hand with a brush. Show you the turret up here as well. Again, bear with me. I know my hand's blocking a little bit of the sponge action. Next time it'll be on the right side so you can actually see a little bit better. But it does create a subtle and very easy to do weathering. I always like to do any of the exhaust pieces that I've kind of sprayed a little bit darker, just to show some variation in the chips. Getting a bunch of that paint off. Here's a quick picture. This is like the final of that one side of the saber tank. As you can see around the rungs, it's also chipped up and have some weathering. I did that with a brush, same application. Use your brush, apply the flat black around just in little spots, and then just light chips around the silver. Alright, same thing, just gonna do a little bit of super speed here to show you how I'm weathering the back track guards. Pretty quick. And then here again, gonna cut in with the brush, and then we'll go through a little bit with the sponge and just touch up just to get some kind of random chips around again. Alright, so new side, nice and clean again. Start from scratch, and again we work our way with the black. Sponge it up in the front here. Again, I like to work one spot of the tank and then move on. And again, working all the way around that bottom, trying to build up all the damage and weathering. And add the weathering where you think it's going to make sense. I like to put it on the forward facing areas. You can do some directional weathering as well if you want to add a little bit of chipping. Here's the silver coming in. Some nice battle damage on the front. On the rungs again, yeah. And just chipping around the exhaust, make sure that's all dirtied up. It's kind of sooty and dark anyways, but I like to always add a little bit. Makes the model interesting. So we're going to be doing the front section now. And process repeats once again. Black in the front. Going to town. Alright, silver is where it's going to come alive. And get quite a little bit done. I like to do the weapons as well. These are pretty decent. That's about it, guys. Have some pictures here I'll show you. Alright, here's some final pictures of the tank itself. As you can see, a little bit more decals here and there. Did some more chipping on the actual decals just to help them blend in a bit. To take it further from here, I'll actually be spraying them down with a gloss varnish and applying AK Interactive Weathering Grime. And then from there, obviously clean it up with the mineral spirits, give it a little bit more grungy, grim dark look. But overall, yeah, really happy with it. Yeah, 2 and 7. These are the twins for the Word Bearers Force that I've been working on. And yeah, pretty happy with how they've been turning out. They'll match the infantry on the board quite nicely. And next up, I'll be doing some Gal Vorbak, where I'll have a video of how I actually get my Word Bearers red color. And yeah, obviously this is kind of just the beginning. We'll be having more tutorial videos and everything else coming out, guys, so definitely check it out and stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we hope to see you for the next tutorial.